It's time for you to let go of your insecurities. You're only embarrassed because you're not taking authority. Once you learn how to be confident, once you take authority, once you learn to have ownership over your life in these trials and tribulations and these problems that you're going through temporary, you're not going to continue to focus on them. You're not going to dwell on them. You're not going to doubt yourself. You're going to be sure of yourself. You're going to be able to embrace yourself. And most importantly, you're going to stop invalidating yourself. So welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance. Let's just get straight into today's video. It is October. It is October. We have 2 more months left of 2024. This is when I'm posting it, or whenever you come across this video. Why do I have a lot of energy? Because you don't have to fake it until you make it. So how are you going to learn how to deal with your insecurities? The first thing you have to do in order for you to genuinely deal with your insecurities is to say it. So for example, I personally only had one insecurity out of my whole 27 years of life. And the one insecurity that I used to have when I was younger, around like 15 to maybe like 17 years old, is that I used to have stretch marks. Oh my gosh. And you see, once you learn to accept what it is and you understand and you process how it makes you feel and you find solutions, why would you continue to be insecure? But that's the backstory. I used to weigh less than 115 pounds out of the first 18 years of my life. So because I was small, because I was petite, because I had a super high metabolism, I've never seen people my size or just anybody around me have stretch marks. So because I had stretch marks, I was unaware, I was uneducated, and that's where the insecurity stemmed from. Once I found out that I had once I realized that I had stretch marks because my body was growing and I was gaining weight, I personally did not stress over it. I didn't doubt myself. Now, of course, it never was to a point where I lacked confidence, but I just personally did not like how they look. That's all it was. Now, of course, because insecurities can vary, there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself or to actually validate your insecurities. So take what resonates and leave the rest. But when it comes to you accepting them and embracing them, because sometimes we can't control our insecurities. So like it could be something genetic. It could be something, that you were born with, like your height. You don't have control of how tall you're going to be because, they're genetics. But it's like when you don't have control over certain situations and you can't change them, we have to come up with solutions. So what I did personally, I just accepted it. I didn't get them removed. I just learned to embrace them because I now weigh more than 100 pounds. Now, of course, everyone's not me. Of course, everyone immediately is not going to be able to embrace it. So the second thing that you have to do is validate it. So once you're able to acknowledge out loud what it is, validate how it makes you feel. Talk about how uncomfortable it makes you feel. And the reason why you have to do this is because you have to realize, where did these insecurities come from? Because a lot of times when you're insecure, it's because you're uneducated. You can lack knowledge, or somebody projected that onto you. You may have insecurities that may not even belong to you. Like I said, if it's not something that you cannot change or that you cannot control. Me having stretch marks, most people genetically are going to have stretch marks. And you have to realize the insecurities that you think you have are common. Anybody who makes you feel bad, anybody who tries to shame you, anybody who tries to embarrass you is a loser, okay? And I'm here to say it. Big, capital L, loser, you're lame. And that's me. We're not in elementary school. Now, little kids, young people, their frontal lobe is not even developed all the way. So consciously, subconsciously, I'm not talking to them. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. But at your big grown age, as an adult, nobody's going to make you feel bad because I'm not the only person who has stretch marks in a certain part of my body. Now, it's not all over my body, and even if it was, okay, and even back then, it's not the fact that I was afraid to go outside and be seen or people talked about me. That's never been an issue, but it's just like it was something that I was not used to. So we have to realize, how do our insecurities make us feel? Because once you, like I said, realize how it makes you feel, you then now can realize, where did it stem from? Like, do you genuinely feel insecure, or did somebody tell you that you were ugly when you were little? Did somebody bully you? Did you used to get picked on? Did people used to compare you? And you have to realize that when you say it with your full chest and you validate the emotions that you have and you realize where these insecurities are like stemming from, you can realize, okay, so what can you do about it? And that's anything in life. The whole purpose of not being stressed, having anxiety, doubting yourself, being envious, regardless of what it is, what you're doing in life, is to realize, how do these situations make you feel? How is it showing up in your life? And what can you do about it? You see, healing is not going to be for everybody, and there's no one size fit all. So once again, take what resonates, leave the rest. But it's like, if you don't want to be insecure anymore, you don't have to be. Imagine if I sat there and doubted myself and compared myself and just not learned to embrace that the insecurities that I have, which was having stretch marks, is not that deep. Now, it's not to invalidate your emotions because obviously everybody's insecurities are different, but it's just like if you can control it, if you can fix it, why continue to worry about it? A lot of people have these attachment issues because they're stuck on people, places, and things that are not benefiting them, they're not helping them. So it's like when you're dealing with your insecurities, you just have to embrace them. Like, who cares that you have stretch marks? Let's just say you have insecurities about your body size. You do realize, especially women, our stomachs, we give life. Our chest has to grow once again to nurture a whole human being. And even with men, them feeling like they have to be a certain size. Who says that you have to weigh a certain amount of weight? Now, of course, I do want to say this disclaimer. You don't want to put your health in danger or at risk. So I don't condone obesity. I don't condone stressing yourself out or overindulging or eating or not eating, what is it, like binging food, and not being healthy. That's what I want to say. Disclaimer, I'm all about healing and healthy and mental health. So like I do want you to be healthy, but it's like if you know that you're unable to find solutions, beating yourself up about what you feel doesn't change anything. So it's like lastly, you have to realize now, once you accept it, once you talk about it, once you realize where it stems from, what are your solutions? So for example, if you're somebody who may be considered overweight and you're trying to become healthy and maybe you're not used to eating healthy, or maybe you don't know anybody around you who works out, you got to start finding ways to discipline yourself. So you may not have the finances, you may not have the transportation, you may not have a gym membership, but the food that you know that is available to you, you got to start cutting it out. You got to start changing your diet. So for example, me personally, where I'm at right now in my life, I only eat chicken. I don't like to eat any other meat. I haven't ate meat in a long time, but that's previously because I used to be a vegan. Now, if everyone's eating ribs, turkey legs, pork chops, all that stuff, and you know that you don't have to eat it, you have to separate yourself. You have to be able to discipline yourself in certain areas of your life. If you're trying to gain weight, right? You're insecure about feeling small. You could start exercising. Like, we have to come up with solutions. So if you want to know specifically how you can deal with your insecurities, let me know what you're insecure about in the comment section. Make sure you guys are following me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. All the information will be down in the description box below, and I will go live and we'll talk about it, how we can figure out what you need to do. Because of course, these videos, I want to give you guys briefly information, because when it comes to knowledge, when it comes to healing, you don't want to overwhelm yourself. So you want to take what resonates, leave the rest, apply what makes sense to you, and learn to take each day for what it is. So as we're unlearning and learning information, we have to pace ourselves. We have to take our time. And that's anything in life when it comes to healing or even dealing with your insecurities. You have to take your time. You have to realize that if you're used to, being insecure for 20, 30, 40 years, and then you decide to say how it makes you feel, you may be triggered. That's fine. And you have to realize that too. When it comes to your insecurities, it could trigger you, right? Me personally, that's the reason why I became your favorite mental health specialist and just a person in general. It didn't trigger me to the point where I stopped living my life. You have some people who are so insecure and have so many deep-rooted issues that they're dealing with internally that they pause their life. And like I said, we're not going to continue to block any blessings or miss out on any opportunities because we're afraid. We're going to own up to it. No person who genuinely has genuine intentions, who loves you, who cares about you, who wants to support you, who wants you to do well, is going to make fun of you. So if you have questions, comments, concerns, and you like these videos, give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you're commenting down below. Turn on your post notifications so you're subscribed. And if you want